Check it out. Today we're going to be looking at the all-new Ridgid 3.5-inch mini palm nailer. This model right here just launched, so you're going to get a first look at it. And then to power this, we have the Ridgid 9-gallon portable air compressor. And then to connect that to this, we have the 50-foot lay flat hose. So we're going to take a look at all three. So let's go. So as you can see across my yard, like way back there, we have some snow, and we have some snow right down there. So this right here, this air hose is made for all weather. You can see that snowflake right there. So it says it flexes in the cold. So this is really a testament to that. So I just looked at my watch. Right now it's 39 degrees out. And let's take a look at the hose right here so you can get an idea how it flexes. So I really haven't had a chance to use this hose that much. So it's been coiled up in the box. But as you can see, as I'm bringing it across here, it's doing a nice job of laying flat. So I don't know if you ever tried to coil an air hose up in the wintertime, but it can really be a challenge. So let's see how this one works. I know there's a lot of schools of thought on how you should coil your air hoses. I probably do it the improper way. So I know there's better ways, but this is the way that's always worked for me. So right there, I can hook that on something, or I can just go ahead and hook that whole loop. Depends on how big the hook is. So go ahead in comments, let me know if I'm doing it wrong, if you have a better method to how you coil this. Let me hook this in the compressor a minute. The first test we're going to try with this, we have some 1.5-inch anchor nails right here. So we're going to just go ahead and try them in the 2x4, and then we're going to get some anchors and then test it out. So when you go to load this, you just put the nail in like that. Always keep your fingers to the side, not on the end. And then it's a magnet in there, so that nail should never fall out. And then you just go ahead and push it down. So right now I have the air compressor turned up quite a bit because I was running some 16 penny nails. So this might go in pretty fast. Let's see. So that's sitting a little proud. So you just go ahead and put it on it like that. So yeah, it is a little bit loud. Takes a little bit of practice to get the feel for it. Try it again. So once you get your rhythm down, which I haven't done yet, you can move pretty fast. All right, so I let go a little bit late, so I have a couple divots next to it. Yeah, I probably could turn it down a little bit. Let's see what happens there. All right, so right now I have it turned down to 80 PSI. Oops. So right there is exactly the way I want to have it nailed down. No divots on the side. So it's just a matter of getting my tempo down. There is a little bit of a learning curve with it. Several years ago, I owned a pancake compressor, maybe a little bit smaller than this one right here. And then I worked around other people that brought their own in. I just noticed, for the most part, the noise level is a little bit louder. And I would say this one is too. So what we're gonna do is put a decibel meter on here. I'll turn it on, and then we'll just see what level we're at. All right, let's go ahead and turn it on. Hanging around 90 decibels. I did get up to 93 initially. Several years ago, one of my jobs as a home builder, I was the guy that would go in and take care of the punch list of the customers they would find after they moved in their house. Normally they're a brand new construction. They're trying to get in as fast as possible. And we're trying to catch everything before they move in, get it fixed. But after they move in, there's usually a list of some things. Maybe once in a while you might get a door that's not shutting correctly, or some trim that needs to be tacked down. So I still can remember vividly a couple times when I was new at that job, we had a lot of first-time home buyers, and a lot of people had pets and babies. And I remember, like, you know, a lot of times they're home while I'm working because I might only be in there for a couple hours. And when I brought the pancake compressor in and I'm ready to start working, sometimes I didn't really think about it, but I would just go ahead and turn it on, and then you would get that noise, and sometimes you see the cats just taking off, or like the babies start crying. So I quickly learned from that experience that whenever I'd go in to run my compressor again, that it's probably a good idea to warn the customers, give them a chance to have them go to the other end of the house while I'm working in that one room with this, or maybe put this in a different area and run a longer hose. It just depends on the situation. But yeah, they're typically a little bit louder. So now what we're gonna do is check the run time. We're gonna run this completely empty, and we're gonna see from empty to full how many seconds it takes. All right, so we have the stopwatch ready. This is completely at 0. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on, and we'll see how long it takes, and then we'll see how much pressure is in the tank. I'm guessing it's right around 120 PSI, somewhere in there. All right, ready? All right, 2 minutes, 56 seconds. And let's take a look at the dial here. And this one far exceeded 120. It's almost at 150. So yeah, very impressive. And then you can see on my outlet right here, I have it set at about 100 PSI. So I just set up this work area right here, so that way we can test out some different nail sizes with a palm nailer. And a couple things I want to point out real quick first. So if you go and pick up this hose right here, one thing to mention, it does not come with the ends. So I picked up these from Home Depot. I think these are by Husky. And there's some kinds where you have to pull it back when you go to insert it. This style right here, actually I picked up the aluminum one. This is a high flow. So what's nice is you just push it in like that. So a lot of the older style, you have to pull the collar back when you go to insert that end. So on this pallet right here, I have some 7D nails. They're 2.25 inches long, and I'm gonna turn the air down on here. We'll probably go to about 75. Now, this is a question that somebody asked me, and I wanna answer it here. So they wondered if it's normal when you turn the gauge down. So I'm at like 100 right now. And if you can hear that sound, that air being released, that is a normal sound. That's not anything like broken with this. So that's just letting the air pressure down. So now I'm gonna go up to, I'm at 80 right now. So I think 80 is gonna be a good number. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the palm nailer hooked up. And these are the nails right here. I don't really have a large selection of nails on hand, so I thought this is probably the closest I could find to using with a pallet right here. So you can see how that magnet right there holds it in place. And I'm gonna put my safety glasses on. So before we get to this project, I did want to point out that it is important to maintain your pneumatic tools like this right here, and using pneumatic tool oil, where you put several drops in there each time you go to use it. So I noticed at one time I forgot, and it didn't seem to perform quite as well. I think there's a little bit of break-in period time with this, just a matter of it, like you getting used to it and then making sure all the oil's in there. And I'm not sure, like this type of weather with snow and ice, if it performs any different than it would in the summertime, but just something that I noticed keeping the oil in there just makes things work smoother. All right, let's give it a try here. All right, took a little bit longer. I might have to turn the air up a little bit. Yeah, a little more. And nice thing with this, it does have the swivel connector. You might hear a little air hissing from it, but just a nice thing to have. I think that air hissing might be normal. Try it again, 100. Ooh, now that's how it should work. That was nice and fast. I'm gonna try turning it up just a little bit. Put another nail in right here. Ooh, that was fast. Yeah, that, perfect. So this could come in handy in some of those hard to reach areas. So let's just try installing this right there and see what happens. All right, let's go install these two nails. So now, let's say we're just gonna have a 2x in there. So now we're gonna put these 16 penny nails. There's a spot right there where it'll angle across, another one on the other side. Let's go ahead and put that nail in right there. Okay, and we'll put this one in right here. All right, so you can see right there how something like this can come in really handy with these joist hangers, getting those tight bays where you might not be able to swing a hammer too well. So I've seen these on job sites on occasion, not all the time, but they're definitely a handy tool to have. And I was going to tell you a quick little story where I saw one of these for the very first time many years ago. So the very first time I ever saw a palm nailer, I was at a job site working on a house, and there was also a smaller yard barn being built. Well, decent size, I'd say probably like a 8x10 or 8x12, something like that. And the shed company, they hire independent contractors to come in and assemble these kits. So the guy that was installing it, he had a palm nailer, and that's how he did a lot of the fastening with them. He just had his tool pouch, put the nail in, and he just had the tempo down real fast, and he was just going to town with it. So ever since then, I was very impressed with them, and I think I went out and bought one. I didn't use it all the time, but there are some circumstances where it really came in handy. So I just remember a palm nailer built an entire shed. So I thought that was pretty cool. So when it comes to the palm nailer right here, let's take a look at some of the specs on the box. So the fastener type, common nails, 1.5 to 3.5 inches. And the BPM 2300, the coupler is a swivel quick lock. Drives most common nails, magnetic nail channel, swivel quick connector. Includes the palm nailer, oil, hex key, and operator's manual. And I probably didn't mention this yet, but it's model R350MPF. So on the compressor right here, everything's pretty straightforward. One of the cool things is it has these dual ports. So if you want to hook up one hose right there, and another hose right there, you can run two off the same tank. And then right here, I did notice you might see a picture of a lock and an unlock right here. So I notice sometimes when you're running, if you don't have this locked, that gauge right there will change a little bit, it'll move around. So if you want to just leave it, say like at 75 PSI, you push that down, you lock it so that way it doesn't turn, and that way you're good. So when I first started using this, I was wondering why the pressure was dropping, and that's the key to it right there. And then right here on the side you have, this is where you can release the air by pulling on that little ring. A lot of pressure in there still. Right here is the on-off switch. And then let's take a look at the back side of this right here. So if you open up this valve, you might notice some water dripping out. Oh yeah, I can see some moisture. Yeah, there is some moisture in there. So it's just important to drain that out, because you don't want that water that collects in the tank to go into the tool that you're using. So that's why you use the oil to keep it from ever rusting or things like that. So you just want to do that every so often. Okay, so I hope this video has helped you learn a little bit more about the Ridgid compressor, the lay flat hose, and the mini palm nailer right here. If there's something else you'd like to know about it, please put your question down below, and also like to hear your comments too. It's great to continue this conversation and hear what you guys think. Then also, if you want to see some other Ridgid tool reviews, I have a short playlist right up here that you can check out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, just want to let you know I've got a lot more tool reviews coming out this year. So right there's the subscribe button. So go ahead and get joined, and I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.